In the land of Israel, during the reign of King Ahab, the people had turned away from the worship of the one true God and began to follow the false god Baal. This displeased the Lord, and he raised up Elijah as his prophet to confront the wickedness of the people and their king. Elijah, a rugged and fearless man of God, received a divine command to go and confront King Ahab, declaring that there would be no rain in the land until he said so. The drought that followed brought hardship and suffering to the people, but it also served as a sign of God's judgment upon the idolatry and wickedness of the nation. After 3 years of drought, the word of the Lord came to Eliab again, instructing him to present himself to King Ahab. As Elijah approached the king's palace, he encountered Obadiah, the governor of Ahab's household, who had secretly hidden and provided for the prophets of the Lord during the persecution by Queen Jezebel. Elijah boldly declared his presence to King Ahab, who accused him of being a troublemaker in Israel. But Elijah fearlessly rebuked the king, placing the blame for the nation's troubles squarely on his shoulders and the idolatry he had promoted. Elijah then issued a challenge to Ahab to gather all the prophets of Baal and Asherah along with the people of Israel at Mount Carmel for a showdown to determine once and for all who the true God was. The stage was set on Mount Carmel, a majestic mountain overlooking the Mediterranean Sea. As the prophets of Baal and Asherah assembled, along with a vast crowd of onlookers, Elijah stood alone as the representative of the Lord. Elijah addressed the people, calling them to make a choice between serving the one true God or the false gods of Baal and Asherah. He challenged them to stop wavering between two opinions and to fully commit themselves to the Lord. The prophets of Baal were given the first opportunity to prove the power of their God. They constructed an altar and prepared a bull for sacrifice, calling upon Baal to send down fire to consume it. From morning until noon, they danced around the altar, shouting and cutting themselves in a frenzied attempt to provoke a response from their God. But there was no answer, no fire, no sign of Baal's presence. As the hours passed and the prophets of Baal grew weary and desperate, Elijah began to taunt them, mocking their futile efforts and suggesting that perhaps Baal was asleep or away on a journey. The prophets of Baal became even more frantic, but still there was no response from their God. At noon, Elijah stepped forward and repaired the altar of the Lord, which had been broken down. He arranged the wood, placed the bull upon it, and ordered that 4 large jars of water be poured over the sacrifice, drenching the wood and filling the trench around the altar. Then Elijah prayed a simple yet powerful prayer, calling upon the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob to demonstrate his supremacy and turn the hearts of the people back to him. Immediately, fire flashed down from heaven, consuming the sacrifice, the wood, the stones, and even the water in the trench. The people of Israel fell to their knees in awe and worship, acknowledging that the Lord alone is God. They seized the prophets of Baal and Asherah, and Elijah led them down to the Kishon Valley, where they were executed according to the law of Moses. As the sound of rain began to fill the air, Elijah instructed Ahab to eat and drink, for the drought was ending and the rain was coming. Then, in a display of divine strength and supernatural power, Elijah outran Ahab's chariot all the way to the city of Jezreel. The showdown on Mount Carmel was a turning point in the history of Israel, reaffirming the sovereignty of the one true God and exposing the folly of idolatry. Through Elijah, God demonstrated his power to intervene in the affairs of humanity and to bring about justice and righteousness in the midst of darkness and rebellion. The encounter between Elijah and the prophets of Baal serves as a timeless reminder of the importance of faithfulness, courage, and obedience in the face of opposition and adversity. It challenges us to examine our own hearts and allegiances, ensuring that we serve the Lord wholeheartedly and reject the false gods and idols that seek to entice and ensnare us. Don't forget to subscribe, like and share, and turn on the notification bell for more scriptural tales.